I'm Mr. Mo FM. I'll take you in the biology lesson. And today's lesson, we are going to look at the blood groups. Under this lesson, we will describe or will state the types of blood groups, then also explain the importance of determining the blood groups. Then we also look at the transfusion of blood group. Okay. Now, if you look at the blood groups, what are some of the groups which you know? Or do we have people who know their blood group? Yes, Taunga?
I know blood group A.
Okay, we have blood group A, very good, correct? Vanessa?
Blood group O.
Blood group O? Yes, Peggy?
Blood group B.
Blood group B? Yes, Esnat?
Blood group AB.
Blood group AB, correct. So we have got blood group. Even when you look at this chart, it's showing some blood groups. We have blood group A, blood group B, blood group AB, and blood group O. Okay? These are the blood groups which a human being has. We do not have any other apart from this blood group which we have. Now, if you look at determination of blood groups, how do we know? Or what makes it to be determined that this one is blood group A, or blood group B, or blood group AB? Yes, Josephine?
By the type of
By the type of antigen
antigen present.
present. Where are these antigens found? Yes?
In the cell membrane of the red blood cells.
Correct. In the cell membrane of the red blood cell. Okay? So the type of blood group in humans is determined by the type of antigen which is found on the cell membrane of the red blood cell. Okay? So that's the one which is going to determine. Okay? Now, we have got two types of antigens. So there are two types of antigens. What are these types of antigens? Yes, Veronica? Correct, antigen A. Yes, Peggy?
Antigen B.
Antigen B. Okay. Namely, they are known by other, we have got this one here, A. So when we have IA, it's referring to antigen A, and we have antigen E. Okay. Well, the absence, we have sometimes the blood cells, the red blood cells, which do not have any of these antigen. What antigen is going to be found there? Yes, Rachel?
Antigen O.
Antigen O. So antigen O is in the absence of the one which I represented. That's when we don't have A antigen O. Okay? Well, the absence of the antigen, that's A, and antigen B, we have antigen O. Okay? Are these the only one which are going to determine? Okay? Are these the one which are going to determine?
Yes.
Okay. So we have antigen A, antigen B, then we have the antigen O. Because of that, we have the system where with the blood group A, B, O. That's where we are going to find the system which is known as the ABO blood system. So the blood system of human beings are known by ABO. So it's either you are A, B, or O. Those antigens are the one which are going to find. The ABO blood group system. That's the system which you are going to find. Okay? So that's what you are going to have. Because of that, those are the ones which are going to give us the possible 4 blood groups. That is blood group A, blood group, like we have said here, blood group A, blood group B, blood group AB, or blood group O. There are only 4 groups of blood. Okay? So, this one here, blood group A, it has got the antigen A. Okay? Blood group B, it has got the antigen B. Blood group AB, it has got both antigen A and B. Okay?
Yes.
Then blood group O, it has got none, or it do not have. Okay? Then, apart from just having the antigen, what other factors in the blood which are going to enable us to know that this one is blood group A or blood group B? Yes, Pamela?
The type of antibodies.
The type of antibodies. When we talk about the type of antibodies, what does it mean in relation to the blood group? Yes?
These are non-self antigens.
Can you come again?
Non-self antigens.
Maybe you can remove the mask so that you get the answer.
Antibodies are non-self antigens.
Correct. Okay. So what we have now, these antigens which we are going to have, which say the antibodies, what produces them? Where are they produced? Or where are they found? We know that the antigens are found on the surfaces, or that's on the membrane. What about the antibodies? Yes, Grace?
In the blood plasma.
In the blood plasma. Specifically, the lymphocytes, they are the ones which are going to produce antibodies. Huh?
Yes.
The lymphocytes in each type of blood produces antibodies against self antigen. Okay? So these antigens, they are not present on the cell of on the membrane of the cell of the red blood cells. So these antigens are not present on the membrane of the red blood cells. Okay? So if we go back to the chart, which is showing the blood groups. If you look at blood group A, the type of antigens which are present on the cell membrane of the red blood cells, we have A, which is represented by that. Now, the type of antibody present in the blood plasma is what? Anti-B. We come to group B, the antigen present on the cell membrane of the red blood cell is B. That is the representation of the antigen there, the antigen. The antibody present in the plasma, it is A, anti-A. Okay?
Yes.
We go to group AB. AB, it has got the antigens A and B. But when it comes to the antibody, it do not have, or it has got none, do not have any antibody. Okay? We come to group O. Group O do not have antigens on the membrane of the red blood cells, but just the antibody, just anti-A and B. Okay? So these are the ones which are going to, so when you are referring to, say, the blood group of a person, if it's we're talking about the blood group of A, it means that person has the antigen A on the surface of the red blood, then the surface membrane of the red blood cell. But in the plasma, there is antibody B. Okay, so that's what is there. The other thing is that when we look at these groups which we have here, we look at the blood which we have here. It's not every time that someone we are going to have the correct amount of blood. Sometimes someone may lose blood. Okay?
Yes.
In what instances can a person have the blood which is not required in the body? Because the person has got a specific amount of blood which is supposed to have, but at times you may find that the person is not having enough blood. What causes that? Yes, Doreen?
Some is due to accidents.
Correct? Some is due to accident. If someone has been involved in an accident and they have lost a lot of blood, that blood is not just going to be replenished there and then. It will take time. Other instances where someone cannot have enough blood. Yes, Peggy?
When they have a disease, for example,
Correct. Due to an infection or to a disease, they may lose blood, especially when they have malaria. Okay? Do you have another one? Okay? So there are only two major processes where blood, a person can lose blood. One, through accident, especially if they are involved in the road accident, or they were working in a workshop, they cut themselves, they can lose blood, okay, especially if they did not receive first aid. Then the other one is when they have got an infection or a disease, okay. Now, not have enough blood, we cannot ever emphasize the importance of blood in the body. Okay? If you have to go, if you just have to check, what is the importance of blood? Just give me 2 points why blood is important in the human being. Yes?
It is important due to the transfer of oxygen from the lungs to the
Okay.
body.
It's transfer oxygen.
It is important due to the transfer of food nutrients from the blood into the body tissue.
Okay, it's important in the transferring of food nutrients. Huh? Okay, so if there is a shortfall of blood in the body, it means the transfer of oxygen and nutrients, they are going to be affected. Therefore, what should be done in such a case where the amount of blood in the body of a human being has fallen below what is required? Yes, Juliet?
Given a blood transfusion.
They are supposed to be given what?
Blood transfusion.
Okay. So when you look at blood transfusion, blood transfusion. Blood transfusion. What is blood transfusion? Yes, I did.
This is the transfer of blood from one individual called a donor to a recipient.
Correct. The transferring of blood from one individual called the donor to the other or to another individual called what?
Recipient.
Very good. This is the transfer of blood from one individual called the donor to another individual called recipient. Okay, so under blood transfusion, when there's blood transfusion, there must be a donor and there must be a recipient. A donor is the one who's going to give out blood.
Yes.
And the recipient is the person who's receiving blood. Okay? Now, if we have donated blood, when you go to the hospital, sometimes people from there, they come in schools to check or to ask people to donate blood. That blood which they ask, they are going to give people who are in need. We have talked about the issue of accidents. Accident victims, they need a lot of blood because they have lost some of it due to bleeding. Now, for blood to be transfused or to be transferred from one point or from one person to the other, what is supposed to be considered? Yes?
The blood group of the person who is donating and the one who is receiving.
Who's receiving? Correct. So, that means the blood of the donor must be compatible with the blood of the recipient. Okay? Yeah. Compatible means it has to match. Because you cannot exchange, like when you're talking about even exchanging. When people are exchanging is supposed to be of the same value. Right? Yeah. So even when you're talking about the blood, when you are exchanging blood, when blood is being transfused, it must be compatible. You cannot just get any blood. So blood, when we donate blood at the hospital, that blood needs to be checked if it's compatible or not. Okay, so for blood to be transfused, from the donor to the recipient, it has to be compatible. It must be compatible. Okay? If it's not compatible, it means, yes?
What instrument is used to determine one's blood group?
There's a question here. What instrument is used to determine the blood group? Okay. To determine the blood group, we do not have a specific instrument. Let me take you back to the blood group. If you look at this chart, showing the blood group, we have the blood group A. What makes it said to be the blood group A is because of the presence of antigen A. Okay?
Yes.
And in the plasma, you have the antibody, which is anti-B. So, when checking the blood group, they have to use reagents. They just donate blood. Then after donating blood, they have to use the reagents or the chemical substance which is going to be added to the blood sample. Okay?
Yes.
That chemical which is going to be there, or which is going to be said to be like an indicator chemical, is the one which is going to show the presence of antigen A and antibody B. In that case, if they check using that chemical, it shows the presence of antigen A and the presence of antibody B, then they will know that that blood group is blood group A. That's what is there. Okay? Yes, we can have manually where they use the reagents, the chemical which is going to be added to the blood sample. But we can also have the instrument which is going to analyze, which is going to give the exactly, just looking at the figure which is going to be given, just going to give exactly antibody which is there. Okay? It works like chromatography. The chromatography, the way we use it. Okay? By the way, if you check, when you're checking the malaria, the RDT, malaria, check when you're checking for the presence of malaria parasites. Nowadays in the hospital they are using that one, the quick one, not using the microscope. That one uses the process of chromatography. In the same way, you can also use it to determine the antigen because their detection factor differs. So each antigen present there has got its own detection factor, so which can be used to determine. Okay?
Yes.
Alright. Okay, we come back to the issue of blood transfusion. Okay. We look at compatibility of blood. Compatibility. Blood compatibility. We are looking at the matching of blood. Okay. So if you are looking at the matching of blood, what does it mean? What are we going to look at? If a person is a blood group A, needs blood transfusion. Yes?
You can give the blood group O.
Okay, you are talking about, okay, that's a nice answer. But before we look at which group are we going to look at the compatibility. When we talk about blood compatibility, you look at the correct, yes, what you have given is the correct answer. Now we are going to look at the factors which we are going to consider. For you to say, yes, we are going to give a person whose blood group A needs blood group O. You are going to look at which factor are you going to look at? Yes?
We're going to look at the antigen in the blood and the antibody.
Correct. You are going to look at the antigen and the antibodies which are there in the blood. We are going to do that in order to prevent the agglutination or the cramping of blood. Okay? The blood of a donor should be received by a recipient. That's why you can say, yes, it's compatible. If it cannot be received, that means it's not compatible. Okay? So like you have said, group A, recipient can be given what? Can be given in group O, because they are compatible. If you give them another group which is not compatible, that blood, it is going to be treated as germs in the body. As a result, the body is going to produce antibodies which are going to work on that foreign body which has been donated, because it's not compatible, and it's going to bring what is known as agglutination or the cramping of blood receiving. All the cells are going to be put together. It will be just like clotting, but clotting, but not going to dry. Just bring the cells and everything together. It means that blood has been rejected because it is not compatible. If it happens like that, it means it's not going to do the work. The function of the blood is going to be defeated. It is not going to transport oxygen. The blood is not going to transport nutrients to other parts where they are needed, because the blood is not compatible. Okay? So, blood compatibility refers, or is the capacity of the donor or the recipient to receive blood from the donor, is the capacity of the recipient to receive blood from the donor. So the capacity of a recipient to receive blood from the donor without agglutination or cramping, or without causing cramping, without causing agglutination or cramping of blood. That is what is known as blood compatibility. Okay? So I said if it's not compatible, then it means it cannot, it's going to cause problems in the body. Okay? Then, if it happens like that, if it causes cramping, it's going to cause the blockage in the blood vessels. Cramping, it's like it's just going to clot, like it's clot inside the blood vessel. By doing that, it is going to block the flow of blood. So if there is blockage in the flow of blood, it can lead to other health conditions. Like if blood is not flowing to the brain, it's going to cause stroke, and the person can die. Okay? And if it happens in the kidney, it is going to cause kidney failure. The kidney is not going to function properly, okay? Because the blood is not able to flow. If blood not able to flow, it means it's not going to carry the required nutrients and the required substance to the parts where they are needed. Okay? Now, if, let's write something there, if blood is cramped, it will cause blockage of blood vessels, which will lead to kidney failure and stroke. Okay, that's what it's going to be. That's what it's going to cause, because blood is not compatible. Yes.
After blood is agglutinated, do other blood cells get agglutinated to the blood of the donor?
When it's happening like that, the blood of the recipient, of course, is going to remain the way it is. What is going to be agglutinated is the donated blood. So because it happened like that, it is going to block the passage of the blood of that recipient. Okay? So it will be in the passage of blood, thereby blocking the other blood, which is just okay for that recipient to be going to where it is needed. That's why it's going to lead into stroke and kidney failure. Okay? Alright. Now, yes?
Sir, is there any medicine which can be used to unblock the blood after it has been agglutinated?
The medical people, they have got a way of unblocking it. I can't say some of the, maybe say the medicine which they are given to others, which I can maybe prescribe because I'm not a medical doctor, but they have the medicine which can do that. Or if it's very serious, they can even do operation to unblock or to remove the camps which has blocked such particular area. But when you look at that, we are dealing with it live. That's why it is important to make sure that the blood is compatible. Because in case of even a kidney failure, if there is a kidney failure, a person straight is going to be supposed to be put in a dialysis machine. Some of the stroke, when you move around, you have seen people with some of them have developed stroke. It means that part which have been affected, especially if it's the brain. If the brain is affected, there are other parts of the brain which is involved in the speech. The other parts which is involved in the movement. If that stroke affects the part which is involved in the speech, it means the speech of such a particular individual will be affected. We have seen some people who were able to talk nicely, but they are no longer talking. They are talking like a baby. Or if it affects the part which is responsible for controlling the movement, it means the movement of a particular individual will be affected. In our community we have seen that, or even our relatives we have experienced that. Okay? Hello? Okay?
Due to agglutination, what happens to the blood vessels?
The blood vessel, when there's agglutination, the blood vessel, if it's too much, the blood vessel can be damaged. Okay, it can be damaged once it has blocked. Okay. Then we have to look at the other thing, the factors which must be considered when carrying out blood transfusion. Factors to consider when carrying out blood transfusion. Okay? What are the factors? Yes?
Blood group O can be given to any person with any blood group because it's a universal donor.
Okay, you're talking about the blood group. Okay, the universal donor. But the question was which factors are we supposed to consider before even we look at what blood we're supposed to give to which person? Yes?
The research factor.
The resource factor, what are the factors are supposed to be considered? The other one?
You are supposed to screen the blood to check if the person has HIV.
Correct? The blood need to be screened. If a person has got HIV viruses, okay? The other one, yes?
You also check for any other blood disorders.
You have to check for any other blood disorders. Like which disorder? Yes, I did.
Leukemia.
Leukemia? Yes, the other one? Peggy? Hello?
Anemia.
Anemia? Yes? Sickle cell? The other one? I did there. The other I did, yes? Hemophilia? Okay, the other one which I have to check is hepatitis viruses. Okay, those are the ones which we are supposed to look at. Now, when you look at the blood groups, you have already screened that one. Which blood group can be given to any person? Yes, I did.
Blood group O.
Blood group O. Blood group O is referred to as universal donor because it can be given to any other person. Okay? Now, which other group is able to receive any other blood group there?
Blood group AB.
Blood group AB. So it is referred to as what? Yes?
Recipient.
It is referred to as universal recipient. Okay. So, after looking at that, we have come to the end of our today's lesson. On behalf of my studio crew and myself, Mo Ephraim, we say thank you for paying attention to the biology lesson. Goodbye.